I'm as restless as a willow in a windstorm. I'm as jumpy as a puppet on a string. I'd say that I had spring fever, but I know it isn't spring. I am starry-eyed and vaguely discontented, like a nightingale without a song to sing. Oh, why should I have spring fever when it isn't even spring? I keep wishing I was somewhere else, walking down a strange new street, hearing words that I have never heard from a man I've yet to meet. I'm as busy as a spider spinning daydreams. I'm as giddy as a baby on a swing. I haven't seen a crocus or a rosebud or a robin on the wing, but I feel so gay in a melancholy way that it might as well be spring. It might as well be spring. Wishing I were somewhere else, walking down a strange new street, hearing words that I have never heard from a man I've yet to meet. I'm as busy as a spider spinning daydreams. I'm as giddy as a baby on a swing. I haven't seen a crocus or a rosebud or a robin on the wing, but I feel so gay in a melancholy way that it might as well be spring. It might as well be spring. Might as well be spring.
This Tuesday night at 6, join recording artist Sandy Kastel for Jazz and Cocktails, an intimate look into the world of jazz. Sandy's guests will include musicians, singers, songwriters, club owners, and jazz aficionados. Whether you're driving in traffic or just relaxing at home, tune in and enjoy an eclectic mix of jazz styles with Sandy Kastel. It's Jazz and Cocktails, Tuesday nights at 6.
Wednesday, 4th of July, Alexis Park and KLAV Radio presents Smooth Jazz Under the Stars 4th of July Spectacular Premiere Concert at Alexis Park. Hi, I'm KLAV's Commander. I'll be emceeing this event for one great evening start at 8 o'clock p.m. Get your tickets 702-796-3300 at Alexis Park, 4th of July.
Hi, this is Lisa Gay of the classic soul and jazz artist Lisa Gay and the Gentlemen of Thrill. Smooth Jazz Under the Stars 4th of July Spectacular Concert starring Jeff Lorber and Gabriel Mark Hasselbach. Tickets are on sale for $70. We've got our VIPs for $100, and we have special packages starting at $150. Call for your tickets now at area code 702-796-3300. Come on down and let the fireworks begin.
Welcome to Jazz and Cocktails. This is your host, Sandy Kastel, and we are broadcasting live from Las Vegas, Nevada on KLAV AM 1230 and streaming online at KLAV.com. My guests today are pianist Pat Coil and singer Lisa Gay. Hi, Lisa.
Hello, Sandra. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Good, thank you.
We've got Lisa is in the studio with us today, and then Pat Coil will be calling in shortly. That was The Edge that you just heard, and that is Pat Coil playing. Pat Coil has a kind of resume, Woody Herman and Vince Gill. He always played with Woody Herman and Vince Gill, Carmen McRae and Trisha Yearwood, Natalie Cole and Travis Tritt. That can only belong to a few of the rare subspecies, the top-notch jazzers living in the country music capital. Actually, there are more of them than you realize, though. So, Lisa, you've been here for a long time in Las Vegas, and you're a singer,
yes.
Jazz singer.
Yes.
And you have a show over at the Alexis Park.
Yes, we do. On Thursday nights, we call it Hot Thursday Nights. That starts every Thursday at 8 o'clock with our Spotlight show. And actually, we have Mr. Casey Cousins, who does the piano and bar in the Alexis Bar Resort in the Pegasus Room.
Great.
And he does some great, absolutely outstanding, beautiful music as the one-man band that he is. And then we start the groove with the Gentleman of Thrill. That's Tony Drake and the Gentleman of Thrill at 6. And then we take it right on down the line from 8 o'clock on.
Well, that's great.
Until 10 o'clock, yeah.
Well, Lisa Gay's sultry vocal sound captures audiences with a unique style like no other, reminiscent of young Ella Fitzgerald, Phyllis Hyman, and Divine One, Sarah Vaughan, and Nancy Wilson, that blends jazz, classic, soul, pop show tunes with her sparkling personality. And you do have a sparkling personality. I went out last Thursday and I saw you guys singing out there, and it was just wonderful. I couldn't stop moving.
We have such a good time out there. You know, we get a chance to go through all genres. You know, it's like going from Aretha to Zeppelin, if you will, or Beethoven to the Beatles. And with that, we have our 5-piece group, which includes myself and my husband, Tony Drake, guitarist, who was with Lou Rawls for many years, along with Nathaniel Scott on drums and Marcus Johnson on the keys, and then Mr. Stanley Butler. And we also have beautiful alternate by the name of Chris Coleman, who was Earl Turner's musical director for many, many years, who will be on this Thursday, come to think about it. So we are really excited, yes. We're absolutely excited. So it's all genres that we get to do, so we enjoy it.
Well, as you know, being in this town, there's a lot of changes in the rooms, and when I walked into that room, it was like a total different place than I had been to, because just recently they've had the Comedy Store, a little comedy show in there.
Exactly.
And I walked in, it has this beautiful arrangement, and it has a great dance floor for people to come on out and dance to the music that's being played. And in fact, they had a whole conga line going on
Exactly, with Donna Lynn. Donna Lynn was doing her show, one of our beautiful spotlight guests, if you will. Joe D'Annunzio will be doing that this Thursday. And the wonderful thing about the Alexis Park, it's under a whole new renaissance.
Yes.
Tony and I always talk about that. And we invite everybody to come down to see. If you haven't been to Alexis Park in several years, or you've never been to it before, it is your opportunity to come. This week we also have a customer appreciation that will be Wednesday and Thursday. So we expect to be doing everything all the way down the line. And the food service is wonderful. The people are wonderful, and everyone delivers everything with a smile. So we just absolutely enjoy it, and we want to definitely give a big thanks to JJ, that's Jim Junkins, who is the GM there and has brought a whole new different meaning to hospitality.
Well, it's wonderful to have that room for all the jazz music and all the styles of music that they're going to be bringing to that room. If you are just tuning in now, you are listening to Jazz and Cocktails with your host Sandy Kastel on KLAV 1230 live from Las Vegas. My guests today are Pat Coil, who should be calling in shortly, and Lisa Gay, who's one of the local singers here. But you've done a lot around the world.
Yes, actually, it's been a pleasure to be me, to tell you the truth. A true pleasure to be me. The opportunities, starting all the way back from elementary school, because I am from Los Angeles, born and raised originally, and from the Crenshaw district, which is the Baldwin Hills and View Park. In fact, I believe President Obama will be there speaking in Leimert Park, come to think about it, this week. And along with that, in coming up in the at that time, which during the 50s, 60s, the Renaissance that my parents were a part of, coming from Central Avenue during the 20s, and 40s. And then after the war, then everybody came into the Crenshaw district.
Right.
And it was absolutely a wonderful experience because music was was certainly the thing and the lesson of the day.
Well, one of the things, as you know, and I haven't talked to the listening audience yet about this, but Women in Music and Arts is our sponsor. I founded Women in Music and Arts last year, and we have a wonderful group of dynamic women who are coming together, and we're doing events around town. We've had a songwriter showcase in January. We did a tribute to the Ladies of Jazz in March, and we did a big band over at the E String in April. And we're going to be doing a performance at the Winchester Community Theater August 11th, and that's going to be a Broadway show, a Broadway representation. And so it's really exciting because one of the aspects that we're so concerned about is that they're taking the music out of the schools. They're not supporting music and arts in the schools as much as they have in the past. And so for us, we're raising scholarship funds so that we can help artists continue their education or get the support that they so willingly need.
Absolutely.
I understand that Pat Coil is on the line, and let's say hi to Pat.
Well, hello, Sandy.
Hi, Pat. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Good. Well, it's good to have you here in the studio with us on KLAV 1230 AM radio.
Wonderful.
We started off the show with The Edge, which is one of your songs, and that was a beautiful tune. I wanted to, first of all, invite you to tell us a little bit about how you got started and how you got involved in jazz and music to begin with. What was the thing that really got you?
Well, I think a lot of it's due to I had a great band director in high school who I always strayed from my piano lessons and was always listening to the radio and trying to play what I heard. And he encouraged that, and I was trying to get into the school jazz band, so I'd go play for him in the band room every day, and hoping that he'd come down and just say, "You need to be in our jazz band." Of course, he never did, and instead I went up to his office after about the third or fourth time and asked him if I could be in the jazz band. I said, "Well, in order to be in the jazz band, you have to be in the marching band." So he started me on tuba.
On tuba?
Oh boy!
Yeah. So I ended up, strangely enough, going to college on a tuba scholarship.
Oh my gosh!
Which got me in-state tuition at North Texas, which was great. And another thing he did for me was he hired me to play little dance jobs around town, and so it was my first professional experience of playing tunes and just getting to play. And I couldn't, when he paid me at the end of the evening, I just went, "What? I get paid for this?" So,
for doing something you love, right?
Yeah, a light bulb went off, and I need to do this. This is what I got to do, and I think the other experience that really stands out is he took me to different concerts in the area. He knew some guys that were playing in the big bands, and he took me to a Stan Kenton band concert once in Kansas City. I grew up in Jefferson City, Missouri. And tried to get me in. It was at a nightclub, and I was underage, so they wouldn't let me in. So we went around to the stage door, and they still wouldn't let me in. And I noticed that there was this big, tall man in the background kind of watching all this, and after everybody cleared out, he motioned to me. And so I followed him, and we went on to the stage. The curtains were drawn, and he put me under the piano behind some drum cases. It turns out that was Stan Kenton.
Oh my gosh! It snuck you in the back door.
he put me under the piano for the whole concert, which had a great impact on me. So I was pretty hooked after that. So
how did you go though from the tuba to the piano?
Well, I always played piano. The tuba was so I could play piano in the jazz band, and then I ended up enjoying the instrument so much that it got me a scholarship to North Texas, which was is still a great jazz school. And but I ended up choosing piano over tuba, obviously, and saw more of a future in that.
And I think there's a lot of people who are glad you did.
Well, I hope so. Yeah, I still love the tuba. Actually, I still, one of my fantasies is to actually buy an instrument and start playing it again just for my own enjoyment.
Well, the way that you and I met was during the recording of my first album, which was This Time Around.
Yes.
And you were the wonderful pianist that played on it, and I was so happy that I got to work with you. And then later on, we were able to work again a couple of years later, working on that new album that I haven't released yet, which is called Jazz and Cocktails.
Oh,
just
good.
like our show.
Wonderful.
So let's play another song of yours. Let's play True North. How's that?
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
If you're just now tuning in, this is Jazz and Cocktails, and I'm your host, Sandy Kastel. We are streaming live on KLAV.com, and our guests today are Pat Coil and Lisa Gay. And that was one of Pat Coil's recordings called True North, and we had a little static there, Pat.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, especially since it was, from iTunes. No. How come it's skipping? No.
I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, those CDs aren't supposed to do that.
No.
Pat, you've traveled a lot, and you've also had a lot of places that you've called home. You've gone from New York to Dallas to L.A., and now you're living in the heart of country music, Nashville, Tennessee.
That's right, yeah.
But there's a lot of jazz there.
There is, actually. Nashville is a music center, so it attracts good musicians, and a lot of even some of the good country players here play jazz. It's, musicians are musicians first, and like sometimes they move to an area where they know they can get work, and a lot of us wear different hats and actually enjoy playing all kinds of different music, and I'm one of those kind of musicians where I enjoy playing country and pop or gospel as much as I enjoy playing jazz. I mean, jazz is my first love, obviously, just because it's I guess it's the freest form of music where you can improvise. But Nashville is a wonderful recording center, and there's a lot of creative people here, which is kind of what attracted me to it. Also, it's a great place to live, so
well,
that's the other thing.
I lived in Nashville for a while, too. When I was recording the album, my husband and I ended up buying a home down in Brentwood, and it was beautiful. One of the things that I heard a lot from some of the musicians living there was that a lot of them had been in New York and L.A., and they said that the schedules were just so overwhelming. They'd be in the studio, all hours of the night, working with different groups. And And some of them, they said, look, we've got a new family. We really need to have a family life. And my wife's not really crazy about me, being gone all the time. So what they really liked about Nashville also was that it really was conducive to a great family life. As you know, and tell us a little bit about that, when they have the A-team or whatever, they have the recordings down there, they just have certain times of the day that they record, right?
Well, yeah, traditionally recording sessions are in 3-hour blocks,
right.
And they start at 10, 2, or 6.
Right.
And that's pretty much the way it's always been here, and it's the way they usually do it. Now, there's, a lot of people recorded sometimes at different times, obviously, but that's pretty much the standard. Mm-hmm. And, if you're a studio musician here, you can, if you're lucky enough, you make a pretty good living, and you can have a family and not travel too much. I'm traveling more now than I ever have. I think it's mainly due to the economy. A lot of the studio work is not quite what it used to be, and that's just due to the economy and the way the industry's changed due to downloading and all that kind of great stuff.
It's changed it all for all of us, hasn't it?
Oh, it has. Yeah, it's a different world.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So you've had a lot of notable recordings in TV and film scores.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time in. I guess the first time my first studio experience was I lived in Dallas for several years, and that used to be a jingle center, and I used to write and play on a lot of jingles. And then I moved to Los Angeles and played with a lot of great people, but I also fell into the recording scene there and did a lot of TV and film and record work. And Los Angeles was a great, it still is a great, wonderful place for music people. And what I like about Nashville, I think, is just it's on a smaller scale, obviously, and there's a community here, and people actually know each other and can actually hang out and put bands together and play live. And in Los Angeles, that's just so much harder to do because of the size of the place. And you may work with someone and not see them again until 6 months later.
Yeah, and when I moved out there in the 90s, I remember it was I'd never heard this term before called geographically undesirable, and that's when you and with musicians you run and actors and all that you run across that same thing. You might live in the San Fernando Valley and be working with somebody that's down in the Long Beach area, and because you're congregating in the center of town, and then when you try to get together, it's really tough because you got to drive at least 2 hours just to get together and hang out.
Right. Yeah. It really is. You have to plan any kind of social events, and here in Nashville, you can get somewhere in 20 minutes. In the spur of the moment.
Pat, I wanted to talk a little bit here with Lisa. Lisa's a singer who's been here in Las Vegas for a while, but she's also done a lot of other things. And Lisa, meet Pat. Pat, meet
Pat.
Lisa.
Hello, Lisa. How are you?
I am doing fine. I just enjoy your beautiful music. It reminds me of so many different things when I hear it. Different moments and thought, and the presence and the colors that you put into all your different chords and whatnot. It's a beautiful thing, and I agree with you. Nashville is definitely a spot. When I was on the road with Marilyn McCool and Billy Davis Jr., we did several stops in Nashville, if you will, and also I did the Grand Ole Opryland Hotel and all that good stuff. Beautiful. It's so beautiful, and all the musicians that we've met. Yeah, go ahead.
I said I'm sitting outside right now. It's a beautiful evening.
Well, we're going to be playing some of Lisa's music a little bit later on.
Great.
If you're just tuning in now, you're listening to Jazz and Cocktails, and I'm your host, Sandy Kastel. We are streaming live on KLAV radio, KLAV 1230am.com. We're going to go to your one of the songs that you and I recorded together back in Nashville a couple of years ago. In fact, Pat produced these 5 songs. I recorded 3 original tunes and 2 standards. And this is one of the standards that I recorded with Pat Coil.
don't know what love is until you've learned the meaning of the blues, until you've loved a love you've had to lose. You don't know what love is. You don't know how lips hurt until you've kissed and had to pay the cost, until you flipped your heart and you have lost. You don't know what love is. Do you know how a lost heart feels the thought of reminiscing, and how lips a taste of tears lose their taste for kissing? You don't know how hearts burn for love that cannot live yet never dies, until you faced each dawn with sleepless eyes. You don't know what love is.
Wednesday, 4th of July, Alexis Park and KLAV Radio presents Smooth Jazz Under the Stars 4th of July Spectacular Premiere Concert at Alexis Park. Hi, I'm KLAV's Commander. I'll be emceeing this event for one great evening start at 8 o'clock p.m. Get your tickets 702-796-3300 at Alexis Park, 4th of July.
Hi, this is Lisa Gay of the classic soul and jazz artist Lisa Gay and the Gentlemen of Frill. Smooth Jazz Under the Stars 4th of July Spectacular Concert starring Jeff Lorber and Gabriel Mark Hasselbach. Tickets are on sale for $70. We've got our VIPs for $100, and we have special packages starting at $150. Call for your tickets now at area code 702-796-3300. Come on down and let the fireworks begin.
You are listening to Jazz and Cocktails on KLAV AM 1230, and this is your host, Sandy Kastel. I'm thrilled to have our guests with me today on our show, Pat Coil and Lisa Gay. Well, Pat, I had to cut that down a little short. All of our songs are all 5 minutes or so. We love those long songs, don't we?
I hadn't heard that in a while. It sounded nice.
Thank you. Well, thank you for producing it. It was
Sure.
it was really a lot of fun doing that. He pulled together a wonderful group of musicians for me. So obviously, you work as a producer with other artists. So tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I produce a lot of the things I produce are not necessarily stuff you've ever heard of. I produce for like some different kinds of, I guess what you call boutique labels.
Mm-hmm.
And, like sometimes you'll walk into a gift shop and there'll be, a solo piano record or, some would call it easy listening. I guess some of it is, but sometimes you can get away with a little bit more than that.
Mm-hmm.
As far as, I'm producing a Christian singer right now, named Michael Crow, and Nashville just presents a lot of different opportunities. There's a singer I'm working with that's coming to town that we're going to do some exploratory thing and see how we get along and what she wants to do, and then mainly I just basically doing a lot of recording sessions, and I also teach at 2 different schools, and then I've been on the road quite a bit the last several years.
So how long have you been teaching?
Yeah. I've been teaching at Middle Tennessee State University. I teach jazz piano and improvisation and combos there. I've been doing that for about 6 years.
And you have a book out, I think, for students, right?
Yeah, I've written a book that I teach out of, and it's it's not a huge seller. I haven't really tried to get it with a publisher or anything. I just pretty much sell it myself.
Speaking of which, where can everybody find your music online?
Oh, well, they can go to my website, patcoil.com.
Okay.
And, I'm also on iTunes and CD Baby. And, between all that, but between those 3, you can find it.
Okay.
And that's it. That's pretty much it.
Well, so as an educator and as a lover of jazz, if you had what is one of the key things or 3 of the key things that you tell a student or try to work with a student on developing as skills as a jazz musician?
Well, these days, I try to let them know that learning jazz theory will apply to just about any kind of music they want to do, because it really pays to be versatile these days. And I mean, not only it used to be just musicians just had to know how to play all the different styles, and now you have to learn all the different styles, and now you have to be a recording engineer, and it's like you have to kind of do it all. You have to like market yourself and all these other things, and it's kind of a different world. And so I really encourage my students that when, a lot of them sometimes will come in and they say, well, I love jazz, but I really want to play some other things too. And I said, well, sure, I'm all for that. And so I try to help them because my career has been, as a studio player, my career has been like trying to wear the hat that people need and try to do what people expect. Mm-hmm. I can't go on a country record and play jazz licks. And there's just certain things that you have to know and certain things you have to learn to be able to go play different kinds of music.
That's true. Especially like you said, you can't play jazz licks on the country music, and then also a lot of the country music has like that power chord thing that was going on, with rock and roll too.
Yeah.
So
that's all blended together, and it all a lot of it does blend together. And I mean, I say you can't play jazz licks. I mean, I guess what I mean by that is that you can't. There's a certain, in pop and country, there's a certain sparsity to what you need to do, and sometimes, if you improv too much, or if you throw too many altered changes in there or something like that, they're not going to like that.
That's right.
But I try to separate those two in my mind, and I try to impart that to my students too. But I also teach, the history of jazz and why it's a great art form, and try to keep it, try to keep people listening to it, try to keep people playing it.
Well, every time I go to Nashville, he's on the radio all the time. I hear your name all the time.
We still got a jazz station here. That's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, you do. Who would you say is the epitome of everything that you can think of that you have worked with, or one that you wish that you would have been able to work with in jazz or in any kind of music?
Oh, you mean some of the people I played with in jazz?
Well, yeah. Who would you say? Yeah, who would you say was the really impressed you the most when you were playing with them?
I think probably one of my favorite things I ever did was Carmen. Excuse me, got a little frog in my throat. Carmen McRae's musical director.
Uh-huh.
Carmen was a great jazz singer.
Mm-hmm.
On the level with Ella and Sarah,
Mm-hmm.
Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan. I mean, she was definitely on that level and never quite achieved the notoriety that those ladies did. But she was, well respected, especially by musicians.
Mm-hmm.
And I was with her for about 2.5 years, and I learned probably more from her than anybody I've ever worked for.
Wow.
I mean, right now I work with a lot of pop singers. And I'm working with Michael McDonald, and I work with, I'm about to go on tour with Olivia Newton-John again. I've been doing her band lately. And actually,
Let's
I'm coming to
get
Las Vegas.
physical. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's one of them, yeah. And I'm coming to Las Vegas next month? Yeah, next month with Linda Carter.
Oh my gosh.
Remember Wonder Woman?
Yeah, I sure do.
Absolutely.
I sure do.
So I've been playing with her. So I'm
right.
doing all kinds of different things.
Oh, great.
But I think Carmen was probably my favorite. I learned a lot from her, and I learned a lot from Woody Herman when I was with him, and played with a sax player named Ernie Watts for a while.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And a guitarist named Scott Henderson, and there's been several.
Okay.
There's been several.
Great. Well, what I'd like to do now is Lisa's been sitting here and she's been enjoying all of your music, and I thought we'd play a song of hers that's
Wonderful.
off
Love to
of
hear.
YouTube. So.
Great.
If you're just tuning in, you're listening to Jazz and Cocktails on KLAV AM 1230. And this is your host, Sandy Kastel. And we're speaking with Pat Coil, and that was Lisa Gay. That was one of her renditions of Someone Who Needs Me on YouTube.
Absolutely. For once in my life, that was...
For once in my life.
That's okay. That was from the Conga Room. That was there for the Educators of America.
Okay.
In regards, because I do come from a lineage of educators, and that was to honor teachers.
Oh, and you also do some charity work, too.
Do charity work as well. I have had a extensive experience being a caregiver for so many different people in between all the music and all that. And giving love is one of the biggest things to do. And with that, the Educators of America was for those beautiful teachers who needed just to be heard, to be seen, just to say thank you.
Oh, that's
we just
wonderful.
wanted to say thank you on behalf of her. And that's what, for for once in my life. And just a footnote on that, the violinist on there is Mark Cargill, who will be here on July 4th. And Mark Cargill currently right now is in the Orchestra for Follies in Los Angeles. And he also, in regards to Pat working with Natalie Cole and so many of the other people, Mark is also on her last 10 albums. So, yeah.
So just to Pat, before you came on, Lisa was telling us she's moved to town in Las Vegas, and she's over at Alexis Park, which is one of the local places that's been here for a very long time, and it's gone through a few transitions. And she's doing a Hot Thursdays, which is a smooth. Is that it? No, what's at Alexis Park?
At
right?
Alexis Park,
Smooth
right.
Jazz Concert Series. And I was over there last Thursday, and it was absolutely wonderful. It's a great room, and she's inviting artists to come in, and she features a different artist each week.
Right. We have the
great.
Spotlight Artist, and in regards, we have that every Wednesday with the Spotlight Artist, and then on July the 4th, by the way, we have Jeff Lorber.
That's
and
right.
And also Gabriel Mark Hasselbach from Canada, our Canadian award-winning gentleman and beautiful trumpeter, on July 4th, along with all of us, and Ron Powell.
Yeah.
From Kenny G, percussion for Kenny G, and of course Mark and myself, and my husband, of course, Tony Drake, who has worked with everybody, including Carmen as well.
And in fact, Jeff's going to be coming on the show too. I don't know if we're going to get him in the studio while he's here, but he also recorded with me, produced a couple of albums. Produced some songs with Jimmy Haslip of the Yellow Jackets on my on some of my last album. Okay. Well, Pat, I want to thank you for joining us. We're going to play one of your tunes. Now, I'm going to give you a choice, okay? I've got Schemes and Dreams, and I've got Skeets, but that one, yeah. Well, let's see. And then Mind's Eye.
Okay.
And then The Waltz for the Three Daughters. There's 3 songs. Which one would you like to play?
Oh gosh, I don't know. Try Skeets. Hopefully, if it has static, then go to another one.
Yeah, I think we had a little static on that one. How about?
Okay.
So
you did on the Skeets one?
Well, did we have? No, he said he was having a little issue with it. It's number 9. Let's try it. Let's see.
Okay.
I had sent it into the radio station, and then when he tried to play it, he had a little issue with it. So let's see how it sounds on the CD. Hi, this is Sandy Kastel with WIMA, WIMA, Women in Music and Arts, Las Vegas's #1 women's organization for scholarships in the arts. Discover how we are making a difference by supporting the arts and providing scholarships today to develop the artists of tomorrow. Learn the tools and techniques available to develop creativity and pursue your passion with segments from our Empowering Women workshops. Join me Wednesdays at noon for Women in Music and Arts, Las Vegas's #1 women's organization for scholarships in the arts.
Make a difference with WIMA, Women in Music and Arts. WIMA is a nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering artists of all ages through education and mentorship. And becoming a member is easy. Log on to WIMAinternational.com. That's WIMA, WIMA, international.com. Or call 702-240-2930. 702-240-2930. The benefits of membership are many. There are empowering women workshops, monthly WIMA mixers at different locations, art shows, songwriter showcases, big band performances, poetry readings, and so much more. And membership starts at just $25. Log on now to WIMAinternational.com or call 702-240-2930. That's 702-240-2930. WIMA, Women in Music and Arts, Las Vegas's #1 women's organization for scholarships in the arts.
I'm Dolly Coulter.
And this is Bert Anderson. Join us Saturdays at 9:30 a.m. for the Women in Music and Art children's radio show featuring Bixby's Tales.
We'll take you on adventures all around the world with our wonderful roving reporters, Joey and Henry.
And don't forget about me. I'm Bixby. I'm their dog.
Oh, Bixby, we could never forget about you. So don't forget, come and join us every Saturday morning at 9:30. We're going to take you on the adventures of a lifetime.
You are listening to Jazz and Cocktails on KLAV AM 1230. This is your host, Sandy Kastel, and I'm thrilled to have our guests with me, Pat Coil and Lisa Gay. Pat, that was another fabulous song.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. I just want to thank you for joining us this evening and being a guest on Jazz and Cocktails.
Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, Sandy.
Thank you.
Nice to talk to you again.
Thank you. And I look forward to seeing you when you come out to town. Maybe we'll get you in here again.
All right. Well, I'll get in touch when I get there, and maybe you can come to the show.
Okay, great. Sounds good. I like that.
Take care, Pat.
Thank you.
All right. Nice to meet you. Bye-bye.
Okay. So, Lisa, where can everyone find your music?
They can find it on CD Baby.
CD Baby.
CD Baby. We love CD Baby. In fact, you can find that. And also, there's some people who do enjoy Christmas year-round, and that's Favorite Things.
Yes.
And we're also going to be putting up the tribute to Phyllis Hyman, which will be Somewhere in My Lifetime as well.
Good.
That will be a part of CD Baby, too.
Well, why don't we go ahead and listen to another one of your songs right now?
Okay, that'll be just
What's
lovely.
the name of this song?
The name of the song is Carousel, and this was put together, I would lovingly say, with myself and my husband Tony Drake and Mark Cargill and Greg Cook.
All right.
You're bringing out the child in me. You got me sharing secrets only kids know how to tell. Oh, how I felt for what I saw there playing in your eyes. I love to stay up half the night with the dreams we take to bed, the walks we like on Sundays, buying homes of make-believe. Let's make it last. I'm glad we're both not growing up too fast. Promise me a carousel where we can ride forever. Circle me with innocence and love your love. Yes, promise me a carousel where we can ride forever. Together we'll keep it going round and round and round.
That was Lisa Gay. Thank you so much, Lisa, for joining me this evening. And thank you to Pat Coil. It's been a wonderful show. And for your listening audience, you are listening to Jazz and Cocktails, and I'm your host, Sandy Kastel. And I just wanted to say that it's been wonderful to be here. We've got women in music and arts, empowering artists of all ages through education and mentorship. And if you want to find out more about women in music and arts and how you can become a member or be a sponsor or donate to the WIMA Scholarship Fund, you can go to womeninmusicandarts.com. That's womeninmusicandarts.com. My guest next week will be announced on our website at wimainternational.com. And Jazz and Cocktails broadcast live every Tuesday at 6 p.m. here on KLAV AM 1230 and on the internet at KLAV1230am.com. Archives and rebroadcasts can be found on vegasallnetradio.com. Future dates and everything will be found on wimainternational.com. Please come and join us again for Jazz and Cocktails.